It appears the Republican Party has seen better days. Many of them, of course, are now out of power, at least when it comes to Congress and the presidency, the House of Representatives, and a very slim minority in the Senate. And you also have the last president that is being impeached for a second time after a devastating loss, as well as being kicked off social media, a lot of them. So it appears to not be looking good for them right now. In fact, it's kind of getting bad out there. And the Republican Party, I think, is in the process of fracturing apart. Now, that said, is it falling apart completely yet? Will it completely splinter, or will they be able to build it back? I don't necessarily know. But I have some interesting data points from some polling that suggest that this could be a bigger issue. This could be a gigantic split. So now, according to a new poll, this is a CBS poll, more than 2/3 of Republicans would consider joining a new political party led by former President Donald Trump if he decided to leave the Republican Party. So now, so far we know that there are no plans for Donald Trump to leave the Republican Party, although he has flirted with the idea in the past. All right. So, okay. Even in passing, if he did actually do this, this would be devastating to the Republican Party because they would take a lot of people with them. All right. So now the CBS News poll found that 33% of Republicans would join Trump's new political party. 37% said they'd maybe join the new party, and 30% of Republicans said that they would not leave the Republican Party. So those are, again, disastrous numbers, but there's more. Nearly half of all Republicans, 46%, say it's very important for the party to remain loyal to Trump, with 27% saying it's somewhat important. So once again, you have a mass majority of Republicans saying, stay loyal to Donald Trump. That means even if the president has done crime, stay loyal to him. Loyalty to the party is all that matters. That's not good. Additionally, going on with the issue of loyalty, 71% of Republicans said that any member of the party who votes to impeach or convict Trump is disloyal, compared to 29% who say that they were principled. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the evidence. It doesn't matter what they present at this trial. The Republican Party, any Republican who looks at this poll and cares about their career, any career-minded Republican, which, mind you, is probably a lot of them, or most of them, is going to say, well, damn the facts. I don't really care. I'm worried about my job. I'm going to vote to acquit. So here you have the electorate that is very, very loyal to Donald Trump. And so with the electorate that's loyal, you've got the politicians that are going to be loyal too. It's what I've been saying. The Republican Party has turned into a cult of personality. They are the party of Donald Trump. He allows them to be the worst versions of themselves. In fact, 57% of Republicans have described the Democratic counterparts as enemies. Enemies, not political opponents, not the political opposition, okay? But no, you are enemies. You are my enemy. I must destroy you. I must defeat you. This, of course, is why it's really, really difficult for, Republican politicians and Democratic politicians to actually work together on issues, that help the American people. Because you have a majority of Republicans that say, no, don't work with them no matter what. Now, of course, we have the same problem on this side as well. 41% of Democrats describe Republicans as their enemies, but I think with good due reason. Okay? So, again, disastrous numbers, but indicative of the polarization that we have in this country, but back to Republicans, right? So that's not the only, data that I have. There's also discussion among an anti-Trump faction of splitting off into a third party. In fact, dozens of former Republican officials who view the party as unwilling to stand up to former President Trump and its attempts to undermine U.S. democracy are in talks to form a center-right breakaway party. according to 4 people involved with the discussions telling Reuters. The early stage discussions include former elected Republicans, former officials in the Republican administrations of Reagan, Bush, both Bushes, and Trump, ex-Republican ambassadors and Republican strategists, the people involved say. One of them, of course, being Evan McMullin. More than 120 of them held a Zoom call last Friday, which I assume was hilarious because most certainly one of them ended up using a cat filter. We'll throw back to another story, but anyway. They discussed running on a platform of, quote, principled conservatism, including adherence to the Constitution and to the rule of law, ideas that those involved say have been trashed by Trump. The plan would be to run candidates in some races, but also to endorse center-right candidates in others, be they Republicans, Independents, or Democrats, the people say. Well, good news for them. We already have a center-right party. It's called the Democrats. You might want to look into it. Again, they've got a lot of center-right Democrats to choose from. Anybody who's not normally a member of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, or the Bernie Sanders wing of the Democratic Party is generally, at least on economic issues, center-right. All right. So now, call participants also said that they were particularly dismayed by the fact that more than half of the Republicans in Congress, 8 senators and 139 House of Representatives, voted to block certification of Biden's election victory just hours after Capitol siege. You know why? It's because they know who butters their bread. It's the voters. They know the base is extreme. It's radicalized through decades of insane conservative media. Rush Limbaugh, Fox News, Alex Jones, QAnon, Newsmax, News to the Max. There's a reason that Marjorie Taylor Greene right now has become a darling of the base. And it's because she believes in the same things that they do. She's one of them. She's one of them. Again, some of the things that she believes in are various anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Frazzle drip, Jewish space lasers, starting wildfires. I mean, very crazy things, okay? And many of them believe it. Whereas, again, a lot of the Republicans who are anti-Trump, all they want to do is be able to hoard their wealth like smog, okay? So, and here's the thing. In the past, the crazies were useful to that group, to the ones that, want to be able to basically have low taxes and no regulations, okay? The crazies used to be useful, but now they're a liability. Why? Well, because big corporations and big business, they don't want to be associated with that anymore. That looks bad for them. And that's the real division here. You've got the crazies versus the ones who, I just want to have low taxes, man. I just want to pay less. I just want to hoard more money. And look, here's the thing. If you're going to rob people, you got to distract them. Bread and circuses, right? Except instead of bread and circuses, the Republican Party went with racism, xenophobia, and the Southern strategy. And when that didn't work, they went with more unhinged conspiracy theories. Because if you could believe that Hillary Clinton drinks the blood of the youthful while wearing their faces, you're also likely to believe that being rich people getting richer, will somehow benefit you. But now, unfortunately for them, the Frankenstein's monster has, they've lost control. Okay, the monster has turned on them and is now hurting them with the general public. Millions of people are now believing insane things. And if you don't, guess what? Well, then you're part of the deep state. You're the enemy. You're the rhino. You're with the globalists, and you need to be primaried and defeated. I mean, it's unhinged. They've got no idea what they've created. None. Even those who, have just started to come around on the Republican side to realize that some of their fellows believe in some very, very insane things, they don't understand what they're dealing with either. But the people that have been paying attention to this over the last, decade? We know. We have seen this bubble get created. We have seen them feed this bubble and cut people off from objective reality. And so they've created this completely insane world where, again, all the Democrats are like, part of this pedo cabal, and that the only people that are fighting for you are Donald Trump, when Donald Trump only cares about Donald Trump and only cares about getting richer, because that's what most of the upper Republicans, and I would say Democrats too, that's all they care about, is getting richer. It's madness. It's madness. And this is unfortunately the state of the country, where we have just a party filled with madmen. And that's the problem, okay? And I think right now, what would be best for the country is for nobody to ever vote Republican again. At least, I mean, again, Democrats have shown that even as flawed as they are, they at least have some interest in governing the country. Again, Democrats are not the party of transformational change. What do Democrats want to do? They just want to get the trains running on time. That's it. Now, I believe that we need positive progressive change. We need way more than just status quo. We need, bold climate action on healthcare, labor, education. So unfortunately for people like me, the Democratic Party doesn't really represent me, okay? It doesn't satisfy my urges for change. The Democratic Party will dip their toe into a little bit of change here and there, and let's not get it wrong here. Some of that's very positive change, but again, it's just dipping their toe in. And now, as far as the Republicans are concerned, there's really nothing coming out of that party that's at all positive. They are basically a reactionary movement right now that seeks to undo any and all progress when it comes to helping regular people. And so, that said, I don't feel bad for the Republican Party. I mean, right now, as I said, they're nothing but reactionaries. And so they've created this movement, and they have milked it for so long in order to build their wealth from the people that vote for them through extraction. And now, well, they're getting what they deserve. At the same time, though, the rest of us also have to deal with them. And so we don't deserve what's happened, and we don't deserve the results of this monster that they've created. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.